I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we journey through 1,000 years of Hungarian poetry with Frank Veszely, author of Hungarian Poetry, Folk, Classical, and Modern in English, 1,000 Years, second edition. This extraordinary collection brings Hungary's rich heritage, rich literary heritage to life, with translations that capture the rhythm, rhyme, and the soul of the originals. Through the author's work, we discover the enduring themes of freedom, humanity, and passion that define a nation's spirit. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. We ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Frank, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Thank you.
This is quite a job you have done here, a monumental task, if you will, translating 1,000 years of Hungarian poetry. Why did you decide to do that?
I felt a need to do it, and I did it because my mentor at the time told me that I was the only one capable of doing it.
Hmm.
And so I was kind of shoehorned into the job, as it were. And also, I was working with a couple of publishers that were throwing translation works at me, which I have been doing. So I kind of had a running start.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we're glad people pushed you in this direction because I think it's an important work, scholarly work, intellectually, to have these literary works translated so the world can see and understand this region and this time better. How did your personal experiences during the Hungarian Revolution influence your connection to this poetry?
Well, the Hungarian Revolution encapsulated, I'll get it out, encapsulated my expression or my desire for freedom
Mhm.
that was developed in me by the Russian oppression,
Yeah.
whether I wanted to or not. So it was like a holiday. To this day, it's the highlight of my life, the
Mm.
memory of it.
Yeah. Yeah. The big challenge, or one of the big challenges you faced in translating this poetry, was preserving the rhyme and the rhythm of the original works. Tell us how you went about achieving that.
Again, I had a running start. In my youth, I prepared myself to be my nation's next great poet, so to speak. And so I practiced all kinds of literary forms until I was perfect in them. So I came to Canada with this ability to write poems in Hungarian, in any classical form at all, with confidence and ease. So I
Amazing.
had that, and from then on, essentially how I got into translation was I live in an English speaking household, as it were. My wife is English speaking, my daughter is English speaking, and neither of them speak much Hungarian at all. And
Mm.
I have been writing poetry in Hungarian, and they were curious as to what have I been writing. So I cut my teeth in translating by translating my own poems for them.
Mm.
And eventually I became skilled at that too. So that's how this came about. But the essence of my experience in writing Hungarian or translating Hungarian poetry is that I was desperate.
Hmm.
I was desperate because I knew that no matter how many poems I translated and how well, it'll never be enough.
Yeah.
The task was so so huge that I could never do it justice.
Yeah.
The only way I could do it justice is by doing quality work and be true to the poets, be true to the original, be true to the spirit of the poems. So that's what I decided to do and proceeded to do it.
Yeah.
And it took tremendous gall even, to even attempt the job.
Yeah.
Who was I to translate my nation's greatest poems? I realized I had to grow up to them to do it.
Yeah.
And so, what could I? Well, it turned out my results were encouraging me. And whoever I showed my translations to were receiving them with enthusiasm. That's the way to go, frankly. Yeah, 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 yes, the way to go, you know. So I got lots of encouragement along the way.
Yeah. Well, wonderful. Wonderful. We're glad you had the skill and the talent to do such wonderful translations. And as we said, keep the rhythm and the rhyme of these beautiful works. Is there a specific Hungarian poem that truly resonates with you deeply?
Um, Probably Chokonai's The Evening.
Hmm.
This is he wrote this poem in 1796, and it's as relevant today as the day it was written.
Mm.
Um, it's beyond words. It's so succinct. I probably should read you some of it, but I don't have a book here.
Okay. Tell us a little bit of what it's about.
It's it tells you. Oh, here's the book. Anyway, it tells you about nature, his love of nature, and how by division of labor, uh, man has uh, brought upon himself his own misery because um, the in his day and age, he was fenced from enjoying the lakes. He couldn't fish in the ponds. He belonged to the Lord. He lived in feudal times, obviously. So essentially, he is describing his love of nature and the world he lives in. Now, the world he lives in is so much like ours, it's not even funny. Uh, I'm leafing through quickly.
Mhm.
I flipped past it. I'm sorry.
Well, no worries. No worries.
Okay, I've got the poet. Now I'll have to find the poem. Here it is. Okay, so
Mhm.
don't get too wee old. I don't have my glasses, so here it is.
Yeah, I know. I keep mine handy. Don't worry.
Okay. O dazed man, what have you done? Gave up freedom and good sense. You imprisoned yourself, you manacled your hands. The earth was yours wholly, without any restraint. Before man was divided, relationships got strained. Once easy satisfaction was granted by failed need. Nowadays, diversified men became governed by greed. As ours was superseded by the yours and the mine, a life of strife and struggle replaced what was divine. The earth, before it turned into mere title property, supported all. No one was born into poverty. Do not take what you don't need. Sufficed a simple law, and no one sued another, no legal brouhaha.
Mm.
No division of labor, men led more peaceful lives. From armies and from madness were not lost many lives. Laws did not create thieves then. Claims have not been staked. No stones marked boundaries, and the forests and the lakes belong to all. Its own way each life could then unfold. Presumptuous and haughty lords did not rule the fold. Men have not lived enslaved, trapped for life in their lot, just so a few might live in the land of Camelot. Anyway,
Yeah.
and it goes.
Yeah, there are a lot of connections
I
to
think you
today's
got
world.
the drift of it, but I'd like to read you the ending. And thus lives now, fenced off by fences his hands built. You are from all the goods of this earth exploited to the hilt. You are alone, sweet moonlight, who are not yet for rent. Fresh air that can be breathed in, that others don't resent. The birds sung over the fields that freely may be heard. The sound of the forest, the soft cooling of the work. Oh, blessed nature, only you are for me. You have given me freely birthright and property. Inheritance you are, and my real estate since when, by your grace, I was born to my statehood as a man.
Mm,
So
beautiful.
you
It's
asked for it.
very proud, very profound, very fitting for this world and times before and after. So it's truly timeless words, which is amazing. What do you hope readers take away from these poems? What do you hope the world takes away from these poems?
Uh, Encouragement, basically, because we all have our struggles, and I wrote the book in desperation, as I said, and and our life has been a struggle. My other book is all about the struggle.
Mm.
But anyway, I think first of all, enjoyment. I really hope that a reader, an English-speaking reader, will enjoy reading these poems as a Hungarian might. Um, it fills you with a sense of freedom, a sense of uh, moral and intellectual well-being. The poems bring home to you your humanity on every page. So it's really it's a treasure house.
Agreed. Agreed. It's a treasure trove of literary works that span 1,000 years, and you've done a masterful work in translating and interpreting these poems. Are you working on anything new, Frank? I know you're a prolific writer.
No, I am 88 years old, and this is my swan song.
Well, I don't think so. I think you got more work in you. We'll have to, when somebody pushes you in that direction, I think you'll come up with another masterpiece
Well,
like this.
I already done it. I've written another book. It is my autobiography,
Hmm.
and it contains all my writings. So it's kind of like a cap on my lifetimes of work.
Wonderful. That's an anthology of all your work.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
name of that book
I
is, one more time?
I have written four books overall,
Hmm.
and all of them are in the Hungarian National Library and in the Hungarian Academy of Sciences Library,
Mm.
and they are essentially each one two of them are in English and two of them are in Hungarian, and of each language, one is about me and the other is about the world I live in. In the Hungarian version, I have done a study of my peers. So I wrote a book about Hungarian Canadian poets, uh, covering from 100 years because there's no earlier. But I covered from the day the first Hungarian poets wrote in Hungarian
Yeah.
until the day I wrote the book.
Amazing, amazing, amazing body of work. This is an amazing work we've been focusing on today. It's called Hungarian Poetry, Folk, Classical, and Modern in English, 1000 Years, second edition. It is an extraordinary collection that brings Hungary's rich heritage of literary works to life with translations and interpretations that capture the rhythm and the rhyme as well as the soul of the original works. Frank, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
You're very welcome, and thank you.
I appreciate your time. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.